Okay. So last month we talked about the 30-day challenge. So basically that is to choose one platform to go all in and really make sure that you're hitting all the marks with that, that your bio is up to date, that you're posting content as many times a week as you can, preferably 3 to 4 times a week. You're engaging with other accounts. So you're taking that initiative to comment, to send DMs, to share content. And then you're kind of reviewing your interactions of your own personal social. So from what you posted, were people interacting? Were people leaving comments? So Alroy, do you want to share? I know you've been like really hitting the ground with the YouTube, and how is that going?
YouTube's it's an interesting channel. My last video's got 5,600 views on it last night, and I don't know what I did different there. I mean, everyone else is three, four, 500 views, and all of a sudden I get 5,600 out of the blue. And it's been that's why I'm like it's interesting. It's weird. It's weird that it's doing that, and people are commenting, telling me they're seeing it. So I'm like, okay, this is good. But yeah, I've got one lead kind of somewhat warm coming out of that one. So, but yeah, it's an ongoing thing. I'm at that point right now where YouTube is starting to recognize that it's the regular scheduling because that's everybody told me from the get-go. You got to post predictable, like same day every week or every 2 weeks, same day. And now that I've been doing it coming into 4 months now, YouTube is starting to pick up on that. And I think that might be why this last video went a little bit wild all of a sudden. But yeah, it's got 100 comments on it or something like that. But
That's
it's been interesting. It's been weird. Like I ran at the Cottage Life show, ironically, I ran across another guy who does a YouTube channel. He had this QR code on his shirt. And so
oh
I looked at it
wow.
and his channel looked very similar to mine. Like his thumbnails were all kind of the same kind of thing, and he does calling with Thornbury area. But
Oh wow.
I had a look at his channel and he's got a couple videos doing a lot like that too, but not quite as much. It's like, oh, it's interesting. It's a weird thing. Yeah. But I've noticed
Yeah,
my website visits they're climbing up. So I'm like, okay,
good.
so yeah, I can see that in the analytics. You can see all the visits are going up. So
Yeah, I was just gonna ask because the analytics are really good to review if you're trying to figure out why a video did well. Sometimes it's just a one-off, but sometimes you're able to go in and say, okay, the top 3 videos that did the best, maybe you started them all with the same hook, maybe you're talking about the same thing. And those are the things that
yeah, I
seem
can't put a figure on this video other than
no.
maybe the thumbnail headline was a little bit had more of a negative spin on it, and that maybe people
Mm,
went after that. That's the only thing I can see because I think the headline was like regret moving to Barrie or something like this,
yeah.
and I think
Clickbait.
that's the only thing I can really see for it. But it's good. I like to see those view numbers going way up.
Good, good. Now, Julia, have you done any more on either Instagram or Facebook, LinkedIn, anything?
So, wait. So I just did the market recap for
Awesome.
the last 2 months that I haven't done the one for the end of March yet.
Okay.
But, um, I mean, I'm not getting a lot, but I can see an increase. And
Good.
it's interesting that, the non, follower views were like the last one was 87%,
Yep.
which is kind of, I think is good. And the one before that was much less, like 30% less. So I guess it works when you post. But
Yes. Now, are these reels that you're making, like the short videos?
yeah,
Yeah, and
yeah,
that's why Instagram is really pushing those videos out to a lot of non-followers,
okay,
as well as your followers. But I find definitely an increase in the engagement when Instagram sees the video and is like, oh, we're gonna, this is a valuable information. The people in this area have been interacting with similar content, so we're gonna push it out to them. And if
mhm,
it's valuable, like the stats that you're using, then yeah, obviously higher engagement. But it also takes time and consistency, right? Like Alroy was saying, to be able to get from just starting out to every day to actually getting a lead. It does work, but like anything, it does take time and consistency. But
I let I wanted to talk to you. Maybe we'll do it outside the meeting, but I did a listing on Lofty and I tried to post it. You know how Lofty automatically sets it up for you to post,
yeah.
and it just didn't work and didn't seem to offer any explanation other than um, you go through the maybe things aren't connected. It gives you the errors, which is
Yeah.
terrific. So you remove the error ones, too many characters or something like that, and then it just didn't post. It shows that it's connected, but like the LinkedIn and such is connected, it just didn't post. I don't know why, and that's as far as I got.
Well, we're almost there. Yeah, we'll do a like a screen share so I'm able to kind of see what you're looking at and we'll get that fixed. Because yeah, that is definitely one of the features of Lofty and I do really like that one because as you said, A, everything's connected and B, it pulls right from your listing so you don't even have to think about adding stuff in or
It prompts it too, so it's
yeah.
like it's ready to go, and then check the AI written version or the
Mhm.
photos, which I did. I took those couple, changed those couple of the photos, and then went to publish, and for some reason it didn't publish, and I don't know what I did wrong. So
Okay, we'll look at it. But this is good. Thank you guys for sharing. I will say we did the Scott Gilmore real estate team did some more socials for our listing in Thorold. And we definitely, I would say, saw an increase. The other thing we really started doing, especially with our even just the Realty Executives Plus brokerage Instagram, was really utilizing that collaboration feature. And Julia, I think you had done this with Realty Executives Plus page as well. You had added us as a collaborator on Instagram. Yeah, which is great because you get to be a part of a new audience. You get to see that follower count increase. Sometimes I see profiles, I'm like, oh my gosh, I can't believe I don't follow this person. So you have that interaction as well. So I just wanted to bring that up. That's something that we've seen really help in getting either eyes on properties or our profiles or just branding in general. So that's awesome. Yay. Good job, guys. So social media, oh, not yet. Social media calendars and ideas. So a lot of the ways that I get my ideas is from just seeing online what everyone else is doing too. And that is not, it's not stealing, it's just utilizing what's already working. So some of the profiles that I've gotten my ideas from are here, and I will send these in the follow-up email. But as you can see here, like April content ideas for any industry. And if you look here, it says, if my industry had a spring clean, here's what I'd get rid of. I think that's pretty good. I'd be interested in that. If my clients had a group chat, thoughts in my notes app this week, like it's just different ideas to get probably the same point across, but maybe not as boring as here's, what I did today in my office. It kind of hooks people right away. There's a ton of these. I know there's real estate coaches that use them. There's marketing companies that post them for any type of industry. So I highly recommend whatever platform you're using, Alroy using YouTube, Julia using Instagram, just check in on that platform and like Alroy did with the person that he saw from the show, just search them and see what their profile's like, see what's working for them. And if it works for them, there's a really high chance that if their audience is the same as yours, it will work for you too. So I just wanted to bring that up. Now, Alroy, I am glad you're here because we are going to have a little chat about AI. Now, this is actual footage of me sitting in another meeting about AI because it's literally all we talk about all the time. But It is important because there's a lot of changes and it's in the news all the time. And there are so many ways that people can tell that you're using AI. And as much as everyone does use AI, no one wants to see that you are using AI, if that makes any sense. So, for example, in ChatGPT, they are known for using M dashes and colons. So when I see Instagram captions that have all these short paragraphs, but there's 3 or 4 M dashes sprinkled in them or 3 or 4 colons sprinkled in them, I know that's AI. I know that person didn't take the time to edit or write this. They just put something into ChatGPT, copy and pasted it, and I'm not even sure if it's accurate information. So when we're thinking about AI, we want to use it, but we don't want to rely on it. Um, so this is something that was in the news that I think is important to share with everyone. So OpenAI is the company that owns ChatGPT. And OpenAI is now in agreement with the Defense Department of the United States of America. So since this has happened, there is a movement going around called Quit GPT. A lot of people are uncomfortable with the fact that they're putting in either personal information or information about their business with the same company that is now utilized by the Defense Department of the United States. So, what does this mean? Well, this means we could be in situations where if people find out we're using ChatGPT, they're not going to be very happy. So, what are our other options? Well, lucky for us, there is a ton of different AI options, chat box options. And I'm hoping this can give a little more clarity to what the different AI systems are and how we're going to utilize them. This was a screen grab from one of the real estate marketers I follow, and I think it's a really good one. So, ChatGPT is kind of like Lucy from 50 First Dates. And if you've never seen 50 First Dates in the movie, Drew Barrymore, Lucy, has memory loss. So ChatGPT, quick one-off ideas, fast captions, random brainstorms, great energy, fresh start every time. So a lot of the times we'll see people talking about, oh, I trained my AI to know me and stuff like that. ChatGPT is not the best at that, even in the pro paid version. So ChatGPT is your very quick idea generator, not so much a planner. Grok is something we talked about a few months ago. Is really about kind of what's trending right now, but is identified in this image as Cher from Clueless. Not a lot of substance there. So, what else do we have? We have Gemini. So, this is the Google AI. And this is anything living in Google. So, it works with Gmail, Google Docs, Google Sheets, Google Drive. And it's all organized, can utilize all those apps, which is really great, especially if you're a Google Workplace user. Perplexity is what I don't have a lot of experience with personally, but can be identified similar to Sheldon Cooper. So, from the Big Bang Theory, really research with receipts, market stats, neighborhood data, anything that needs a fact check. So, then we have the final one, which is Claude. Has anyone heard of Claude or has anyone used Claude?
I just started using Claude.
You just started using it. What do you
Yeah,
think so far?
it's pretty good. I use a combination of Perplexity and Claude to kind of write up my stuff. ChatGPT is like kindergarten, and then Claude, you're getting into high school English and a little more refined. But Perplexity is really neat because it refers to where they found that. Like you can click on the link, and it'll pull up the article that they quoted from. So I use a combination. I use a combination of different ones to get things done. So
Good.
I I
Yeah.
hope people I hope people confuse people so they don't realize it's all AI.
Well, so far I haven't been able to guess that anything you write is AI. So good
Yeah,
on
well,
you. But
I remove all those colons and that stuff. I take all that out because that's a dead giveaway.
Yes, it
I
truly is. Um, and then last, so Claude. Claude can be characterized here as Hermione Granger from Harry Potter. Those are your big projects, your listing presentations, content strategy, buyer guides, brand voice. You can put in all of your information, and Claude creates your profile and how you talk to utilize that when it's answering your questions, helping you create presentations, content ideas, everything like that. Then we have to talk about kind of what we need to be aware of when we're utilizing any of these things. So, for example, ChatGPT, um, anything that needs to know your market, your clients, your voice, um, this is definitely something that you're not going to use. As Alroy said, it's kind of like kindergarten in a way. It's very surface level and it'll help you create ideas, but doesn't know you as much as other great AI sources. Some of the other issues with these AI systems, Grok has no deep strategy, like I said, lacks substance. Gemini, I've tried to use it as creatively as I've used ChatGPT and it just doesn't work. So it really is for organizing, it is for research, everything like that. But if you're looking for like huge like marketing push and everything like that, that's probably not the one you want to use. And then the perplexity one, and this could be something, Alroy, that you've seen, is one of the issues that people see is it doesn't have a lot of personality. It's very kind of stats driven, and kind of sounds like a research paper. Is that something you've seen?
Yeah. So what I do with Perplexity, I'll send it my prompts and say, this is what I'm looking for, it does all the research. Then I will copy that, throw it into Claude. It's like make this warm, friendly sound like me because Claude will go onto my profile and then it regenerates it all. So I think by mixing it between two different AIs, you can't tell it's AI anymore.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's great. And then the only issue that people have with Claude is it's not a news feed. So as Alroy says, he's getting all his information, his up-to-date stats and everything from Perplexity, because that's not something that Claude is really super great at. It's there to create your profile, to share kind of the way you would and help you as a person. And then the research is kind of done outside of that. Because I think what a lot of people mistake is AI systems, AI chatbots, they are not Google. They are not up to date. They do, they're only 80% accurate. You're missing a huge chunk of accuracy. Um, Back in my day, um, we used to use something called Google Scholar to have to look up things. And that's where you would get your accurate information. You would have to read, either the scientific articles, whatever it was. Um, Whereas now I feel like a lot of people are using AI in to replace Google, and that's not really what it's made for. So I did just want to bring that to everyone's attention. So now what? Well, we know agents are spending less time with the creativity, the email writing. They're not butchering their words in listing presentations, in videos, and stuff like that because they're getting their scripts directly from someone that or something that sounds like them that has done all the research. And something that, you know, to the contrary, I would say is if it's taking more time for you to use that system than to answer the question that's in front of you, you don't need to use it. This is not something to be relied on. This is not something to use just because everyone else or the people around you are using it. I feel like sometimes change kind of forces us to use something, which is good. It does help, But if you're spending hours on end trying to figure out something when you should be, prepping for a listing presentation or calling your database or something, then you need to focus on that and make this, a third party event. This is not the first thing you need to do on your list. And understand that these systems are only going to get better for professionals. So we started with ChatGPT, then it quickly went into what is now deemed AI slop. So all those videos and pictures that are clearly AI that no one wants to see anymore because we're sick of it. And then that went away. They're actually closing the open AI video marketing tool called Sora. OpenAI is closing that. It got it flew too close to the sun and everyone got sick of it real soon. And so that is being scrapped. So now what are we left with? We're left with our AI chatbots that the engineers behind them are creating these systems that get to know you better, get to know your language, the way you speak, the way you interact with people a lot better, that can research a lot better. So these systems are going to advance. So it is better to kind of start now and then learn along the way instead of getting to a point where you have to learn all of this stuff because everyone around you is using it at that point. Right now, we're still in the beginning. Even the companies are still learning how to create these systems. So it's good to introduce yourself to them now. That was kind of it for my presentation and what I wanted to talk about. But what I do want to share is I want to go back to what we had talked about last month, and what we talked about earlier, which was that kind of 30-day challenge. But before I do that, does anyone have any questions about the AI that we talked about, or do you want to share any stories about utilizing AI or other people using AI that you've seen?
I, I have a friend in another market that's been using some ads, and she's in a similar market to Alroy, and she's been using AI ads, and they're not like Sora, so they're not cartoonish. I found that Sora was very cartoonish. Is that right?
Yes. Yep.
Yeah. So basically, it's a digital ad of an agent, and it runs through the actual pictures um, of the listing, and then it does an voice overview. I find it a little bit wooden, but I could see it getting a little bit better. And if you didn't know her as this person as long and as well as I did, you probably might not know. But I thought that was kind of interesting. I just kind of wonder how long that technology is going to last. I don't know, but I don't know if I'm going to jump on that bandwagon at all because I think by the time I do, it'll be gone. But it's interesting. I mean, super interesting. The other thing I wanted to mention was on Treb they have that new system. Have you
Yes, the
I,
restyle.
Restyle? So I wondered if you had any plans on covering Restyle. And is Treb
Yes.
the only one doing it, or are other markets doing it too? Like other?
It's yeah, PropTech, or not PropTech. OnePoint has a new video service too that you can put all the listing pictures in and make a video with voiceovers that can read the listing description and everything over it. I I
Mhm.
I checked it out and it's like I find it's pretty sad attempt. I'll put it that way. And then it was expensive at the end. I'm like, yeah, some
Oh,
of the apps out there are much cheaper. I've been playing
Yeah.
around with some of those new cartoon type ads. Like
yeah,
my social media reels are full of that stuff. Like
yeah.
it's 80%.
Restyle
Yeah.
Restyle takes like you take a picture of your house, and let's say it's the outside of the house, and then it punches it up, like it gives it a glow up. So what it
Yeah. And you can pick so you can do the inside too. So it's kind of like virtual staging without having to pay for that.
Mhm.
Which I think is super interesting. Yes, I will be covering that. It will be during one of the midweek masteries just because it is more about kind of like real estate stuff than social media and AI. Um, but yeah, I saw that. I personally haven't used it yet, but I've been looking into it. We also Treb also sent out or prop text for $15. You can also do the same thing as Alroy was talking about. You can now make these listing videos right in Treb. Um,
I
yeah,
did fiddle around with that with my listing on St. Clair. So um, I mean, I've got empty shots, so I could restyle it and furnish it. Because normally it's like $50 a photo to add furniture to an empty room.
yeah,
In
ChatGPT will do it for you for free.
Yeah,
If you
probably.
look, if you, I'm serious, Julie, if you just load up the picture, the empty picture,
Yeah,
tell it you want a bed with pillows and all that stuff and a blue wall, and prompt
yeah,
it right, and then hit prompt. In 20 seconds, you'll have a picture that you looks like you just furniture's in the room. I have a
yeah.
on my new listing in Horseshoe Valley. There's a couple pictures there that needed to be cleaned up a little bit, and I didn't want to be sitting there trying to scrub something. Like one was missing a little piece of drywall in the corner, which was being put in, but wasn't there when
Mhm.
the pictures were being taken. So I put it through ChatGPT, and you look at that picture, you'd never know. Like you'd never know that there's a piece of drywall missing in the one spot. It's there now. It was all fixed, but yeah, it wasn't there when the picture was taken.
I'm glad you mentioned that because that's probably exactly what the company that I put my photos in and they restyle it are using. So, yeah,
Yeah,
so
I had one photographer that does. They use cubic casa, which to measure the house. Cubic casa will virtual stage your place for you too.
mhm.
And you can put in 10 or 15 pictures, and it'll float in furniture, change the color of the walls, and it's
Yeah,
crazy.
I have an app like that too that I use for measuring. It's just so much easier. You can create a floor plan and then place
Yeah, I
furniture.
use cubic casa. It cost me $10 US, so what, $14 Canadian, and it's done. It
Yeah,
takes 5 to 10 minutes to measure the house, and the next day I'll have the floor plans.
yeah.
Uh, Yeah. Hmm.
yeah. There are so many things now that can be used. Um, and definitely the restyling is interesting to me because the example that I saw, it changed the wall to a brick wall. So I'm interested to know kind of,
There was one in one of the Facebook groups that a lady had put up. She's like, "So you're not supposed to have false advertising." And they showed the house, and then the restyled one. Well, the house was in Toronto, and it had palm trees in it. The neighbor's house went from vinyl siding to brick, and it's like, wait a minute. So you redid your own house and the neighbors while you're at it. Like that's where it's like those pictures is like, yeah, I think those. I'm kind of on the fence with those. I think it's false advertising. You're setting your buyer up for failure, and
yeah,
that's not cool.
there's definitely a line. I'm very interested to see. I think
Yeah.
the style is really good for buyers agents to be able to sit there with their clients and just keep restyling to show them this house is actually a really good deal. There are so many things that you could do to it. I know it's from, the 60s, but look at what it could be. Because I've been in those situations, and like I'm sure you guys have too, where something's a good deal, but the buyer can't get past the fact that like the toilet needs to be replaced or the walls are yellow or whatever it may be.
Yeah, I call the
Have you
buyer rabbit hole. They go down the rabbit hole. They're never coming
Yeah.
back out. They just don't come back up. They're
Yeah.
gone. I tell all my sellers, don't let the buyer go down the rabbit hole. Fix that crack in that drywall. Because if they see one crack, they start staring and looking for more. It's what they do.
Yeah. Yeah. Or you could be like me, who's now lived in my house for a year, and I apparently now have this like spidey vision. And every time I walk in my house, I'm like, this is wrong, this is wrong, this is wrong. Yes,
the
my
trick?
Yeah.
my poor father had to work all weekend because I needed things done to my house. But yeah, that buyer rabbit hole is it happens fast, and I have one that I haven't been able to get her back.
It happens within the first few seconds of someone being on a property. Like
Yeah.
for me, the front yard, if you come in and the house is staged to the nines and then the front flower pot has weeds in it. What in the world? Like like Really? You spent $20,000 staging that house and you didn't pull the weeds out of the front pots. Like, come
Yep.
on. And that's very common. I'm a bit of a landscape nut, right? And I'll look around and think, oh man, you got to clean this up.
No, it's yeah, it's I think the restyle feature is going to be really great. Um, I mean, I'm with you, Alroy. The line to false advertising, I think, is going to be really interesting to see. But Rico also hasn't put out a new marketing guide in a while, so I'm interested to see what they have to say as well.
Yeah,
So
I almost think that the real estate association should have a separate set of pictures that are AI pictures with big disclosures over it. Can't have mixed in between all the other ones because right now you can put up a real one and then the fake one beside it, and people just can't. They look at that real one, the fake one, and like, oh, that's nice, not realizing the real one that was just shown is actually the house. Because I've
mhm.
walked buyers into places where like, well, this isn't what I saw online. I'm like, well, yeah, it is, but you looked at the AI picture with the couch and the bed. That's the dead giveaway, the throw things over the corner. They're all the same. They got the area rug that's under the bed. They're all the same. It might be a slightly different color or different pattern, but it's the same setup. Like, yeah, when once I pointed out, it's like, look, that's all the same. I mean, it doesn't matter which house it is. That one went from blue and this one's red, but they're the same couch. Like,
Yep.
yeah. There's
It's
one big realtor near me that used to use a red chair, and I could tell as soon as I seen the pictures, the red chair, that's this company. And they floated it from house to house just for pictures. Now with AI, I mean, it's easy to do, but they used to physically move this chair. It was the same one in every house.
dang, look at that branding. Plus an arm workout. But
Yeah.
um yeah, it'll be really interesting. Again, to answer your question, Julia, yes, we will be talking about this kind of with everybody. So I would be interested to get more insight into this and kind of what people are seeing because I know when I first kind of got into real estate and stuff, I had a couple of people say to me, "Oh my God, the AI photos that I'm seeing, like those should be illegal because it does feel like false advertising." So yeah, that'll be interesting.
I think we
Um,
should be watermarking the photos that are AI
and
staged. In my on my Front Street listing, I have beautiful photos, but I had one room that had kind of an awkward dresser in it, and it was kind of empty, and I staged that room virtually. And you can put a little description of the picture. And I think in the bottom we're going to be end up being required to put that it's virtually staged.
I
Or
I think that, yeah, they should have an option that, or not an option, mandatory if it's virtually staged to hit a button and it puts like a little, yeah, watermark, a clear watermark in the corner. You know, maybe it doesn't say AI, but virtually staged.
yeah,
yeah,
because I know um like there some people will argue the difference between, was this touched up by AI to add like, a little paint square here because it was missing one? Or like, why do I need to disclose that it doesn't affect the like people will argue about it. So yeah, I'd be really interested to see how this goes.
true.
But we'll keep our eyes out. And then anything else before we get into the 30-day, 60-day challenge? Anything else? No? Okay. I'm going to go ahead and share this booklet, which I had sent everyone last month when we started this. So we'll check this out. So we have here what we had done for the first 30 days. So choosing one platform really to go all in on, optimizing your profile with your professional photo, keyword rich bio. So we're talking the locations you serve, the market you serve, like is it first time home buyers, investors, etc. Link to either a lead magnet or free home evaluation, something like that. And then batch film content, 4 to 5 videos in one sitting definitely makes it a lot easier. Um, Sometimes I find I just have days where I'm feeling like, oh, we either, after a midweek mastery or something like that, I feel like there's so much to talk about. And then for the next 3 days, I cannot be bothered to film a video because I feel like I'm either too busy or I have nothing to say, stuff like that. So that's why I definitely recommend batch filming content. Yes, it's easier just to sit down for an hour and do it other than, taking a few hours every day. But it's really the energy that you have because that energy is portrayed in those videos. So when you're not feeling it, it shows. And then engaging with accounts in your market, in your niche. And as Alroy's doing, studying the analytics, seeing how many website clicks you're getting, seeing why videos are working. And not worrying about the quality of them, just worrying about the consistency. So again, Alroy, with that consistency you've been doing the past 3, 4 months, you're now getting that engagement. So what's next? So double down on the content types that performed best in month one. Adding a second platform. So if you are doing videos, so my suggestion, Alroy, would be if you are doing these short form videos, then you may be best to do other platforms that do short form videos. But if I'm not mistaken, you do have a big group on LinkedIn, right? Yeah.
Huge group.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So another great thing would be to take those videos that you use, or maybe use the script that you're reading, and just populate that on LinkedIn in kind of a more LinkedIn friendly way, because we know LinkedIn is very much like long text platform. So utilizing that on LinkedIn could be a second way to get that information out there.
It's already done.
There you go. Never mind. Yeah, Julia.
Oh, are you able to take clips within your long videos and make,
Yep.
yeah,
Yep. Make
you do
reels out of
that?
it. Yep.
That's,
I don't
I've
my
seen other
guy
people do that.
my guy that does all the YouTube stuff does all that. I just record the script, send the video to him, and the way the script is written, it's made to clip in parts. So we get shorts and reels and all this other stuff. And it's
Neat.
through the CRM system, I can see what dates they're posted so I can fill in the holes and days where there's nothing posted, and put in, monthly market update or whatever in that empty day. So there's some consistency there.
And the other thing is kind of the series content. So, outright, you are doing this, right? Different series, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, I've got a series running right now on vacant land building and all that,
Yeah,
the processes involved in that. So speaking of that, it should be coming due for some more content. Those are all published back in November already. Like my social media girl said, spreads it all out. So that's why I'm like, it's April now. I think I'm due for sending her a whole bunch more of them. But I use ChatGPT and Claude and that to break it all down into weeks as it follows along and just spread it all out, right?
yeah,
And she adds the imaging to it. I just send
which
her,
is
said,
perfect. Yeah,
here's all the content, put appropriate image with it, and she makes sure it's all kind of brain consistent. Yeah.
yeah, which is really good.
I tell
Um,
everybody I'm a sales guy, not a content marketer. So
yeah,
yeah.
fair enough. Um, yeah, and I know, well, even Scott and I did our first kind of I would say professional listing video where it's not me behind the camera, it's both of us in front of it, and someone else that knows what they're doing is filming it, editing it, and sending it to us. And it did very well, and we were very happy with it because to Alroy's point, we're here to, showcase the house and talk to other agents and talk to consumers about the house. I don't need to spend my time doing the editing and when there's someone professional that can do that for me. And then,
It's like our tagline, where the experts are, but yet, you got realtors who are trying to be photographers, but you're not a photographer. You're a realtor. I mean, you might be
yeah,
a good photographer, but not everyone is. I mean, I tell
yeah,
my sellers that, I said, I'm not a photographer, I hire a guy. Just like I'm not a painter, I'm gonna hire a painter. Like taglines where the experts are. So why are you hiring or doing it yourself when taglines where the experts are? Well, bring in an expert in that field to do it.
exactly. So yeah, the next 30 days really, I would say if you're missing anything from the first 30 days, go back, refocus on that, pick, a day of the week and it doesn't have to be consistently, but if you know, okay, Tuesday mornings, I'm usually free, or Thursday around noon, I'm usually free. Then take the hour, know that, a couple days before, go into your AI systems, figure out, okay, this is my niche. What are some topics that consumers in the Toronto condo market want to know about buying a condo or selling a condo? And it will help you make those scripts. And as Alroy's saying, if you ask it to, it'll break down for you. Okay, here's your first 90-second video. Here's your second 90-second video. And that you don't even have to worry about. You just got to worry about picking up the phone and reading the script. But in like I said, in the next 30 days, try doing the series content. I found when I was doing it, I got a lot more engagement on the series content because people were engaging with the first video, and then the second video was more likely to be pushed to them because it was the same topic that they had interacted with. Um, and try increasing the frequency. If you can see that you're posting 2, 3 times a week, and people are really engaging with it, try more. People follow you because they want to see you, because they want to know what you're up to, know what you're sharing, get the value from you. So the next 30 days, I would say keep doing what you're doing, add if you can, and if you have any questions, let me know. Um, but that really is all from me for our social media power hour, giving a few tips, sharing about AI, and then, yeah, just talking about the next 30 days and what that can look like. You guys have any questions? No?
No.
All right. Well, then I will see you guys tomorrow for our midweek mastery. And then next week we have our awards celebration. Yay. Which is going to be very fun. And thank you guys for joining me today. I really appreciate it. And I will see you tomorrow.
Thank you.
Bye.
Right.